Namaste everyone. Welcome to the Cārvāka podcast. This is your host Kushalmehra. All right, time for another monologue. But before I get into today's monologue, as always, I want to start today's session by thanking all the new members of the Cārvāka podcast. So I want to thank Rajendra Sutar, Mahua Sarkar, Girish G, Sparsh Mishra, DK Agnihotri, Gaurav Singh, Jayam Sharma, Sayantan Chakrabarti, Pawan Kumar, Harsh Mehta, Arvind Thapar, Rudraksh Sharma, Sandeep Natkarni, Pankaj Kumar, Shravan, Aditya, Lady the Awesome, Orindam, Vinay, Prasad, Prem, Sudhanshu, Yashaswini, Piku, Ashwini Dasgupta, Vishal, and Ashwini Naidu. Thanks a lot for your support. Thanks a lot for becoming members of the Cārvāka podcast. So, guys, you know the drill. If you want to support the Cārvāka podcast, first of all, please like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comments there. That helps the channel. If you want to go to the next level, you can, support it in multiple ways. You can become a member on YouTube by, signing up to either of the two tiers. You can join the Seekers tier or the Speak With Me tier. If you join the Speak With Me tier, you get access to a once a month AMA where we have chats behind the, these sessions are not recorded, just behind the scenes chats. Members come and we have chats for like hour and a half to 2 hours. And you also get access to behind the paywall videos where right now we are covering the Valmiki Ramayana. So you get a detailed verse by verse coverage of the Valmiki Ramayana. And if you don't want to do that, you can also go and subscribe on Patreon. Now on Patreon, if you subscribe and pledge $5 and above, you also get access to the Valmiki Ramayana sessions that YouTube members get. Along with that, you get the entire detailed videos of Aryan invasion, Aryan migration, and OIT series. Also, you can send your donations directly. A lot of people, they keep telling me this, that they want to support the podcast through UPI. So the UPI address, it is kushalmehra at icici. So you can use that to send your donations at any time, or also you can send your super chats to kushalmehra at icici, and you can email me the question or send it on Twitter, as always. Also, you can buy the Cārvāka podcast merch. Talking about merch, as you see, today I'm wearing a new t-shirt. So I've not put it up on the store as of now, but let me share the photos with you at least, because the camera doesn't pan out and in the virtual screen we have a problem. So I'll share the new t-shirt with you. So a lot of talk is going on, liberals, I have liberal friends, and liberal people are very kind hearted. You see, they're very kind hearted people. They always care. And with all that's going on down there in Afghanistan and with the Taliban, and how liberals always say, we should learn to live and let live. So I thought I will, take it to the next level with the liberals. My liberal friends always say, they believe in live and let live. So here's the new t-shirt. So, your liberal friends say live and let live. So this is my message to my liberal friends. As you see, I believe in live and let live. Now I'll try and go and say this to the guy waving at me. This is that missing liberal friend of mine who somehow seems to have lost their way when they went out to, talk to this guy. I wonder who this guy is. So I've not put this t-shirt live on the store as of now. I'm going to do it tonight after the monologue is done. But in case you're wondering that, is the only merch out today? Nah, we have some more merch. So let's get to that. I'll show some more merch to you. It's merch time today. So, as you know, free speech in India is a major issue, to say the least, if we were to say that. And again, liberals always say that, they believe in free speech. So I thought I'll dedicate a t-shirt to them. Liberals in India, they really do believe in free speech, don't they? So this is what the liberal definition of free speech is in India. As you see, have you ever met a liberal friend who doesn't believe in this? Don't you think this is the perfect definition of free speech in India when it comes to liberals? They are a liberal, but they believe in free speech as long as you agree with what they have to say. So, this is my gift to my liberal friends today. you know every time they say they believe in free speech, this is the version of free speech they're talking about. So like I said, just wait for the store to go live. We will be going live on the merch store soon tonight. I'll launch it properly tomorrow. I'll tweet the links out. I will tweet everything out. I'll share it on Facebook. I'll share it on Ku. But I thought I'll share the design at least with you on the monologue, and I hope you like it. As you know, my liberal friends are really caring, and my liberal friends really care about me. So I thought, I also care about them, and let me um, hmm, give it back to them. It's just a session of sharing love. Okay, now before we start the discussion, let me lay it out for you. So why I wanted to do these discussions on the Pew Polls. Now, in my opinion, I think this poll, a lot of people have said, "Oh, but how seriously can we take the numbers? How seriously can we take this? How seriously can we take that?" The point is, you have a baseline. They could be minus 10%, plus 10% in their range. But the point is, now you have a baseline, and you have a baseline of trends in India. And I really looked around, and we did a lot of discussions, but I felt that there literally needs to be a slide by slide detailed view of the pupils done by someone on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is, other than the section on caste, which I covered with Abhinav, I'm going to skip that section. I'm going to literally go through the entire pupils now. So it could be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, depends. I mean, I will only cover it till 35 minutes, and in 35 minutes, whatever we cover, and then we wait for the next time, because every monologue we have to keep 1 hour for Q&A with the guests. So that's how we're going to do. So I'm just going to share the pupil, I'm going to read the charts, and I'm going to give my views off the cuff, and I'm going to say what I feel about these trends, what I feel about these numbers. Why am I doing this? Is that somebody needs to do this. People are lazy. They are not going to go out of their way and read the entire pupil. They just want somebody to do it for them. So what I'm going to do is breaking down in 30-minute sessions, 30-minute sessions every time in a monologue, and cover it with you. That way you will also cover it, because you might be lazy, or one of those lazy people who does not want to do it. Secondly, there is another problem that has cropped up with YouTube. So apparently right now YouTube seems to have some issue with the super chat. So normally what happens is, when you guys ask the super chats, right, so there is this place in the YouTube section for the creators where you just have to go and click see all, and all your super chats pop up. So that seems to have stopped nowadays with Pew. Not with Pew, with YouTube, I'm sorry. So doesn't matter, I'll still answer all your super chats today like always. But what I'll request all of you to do is, the moment you ask a super chat, if you could, for me, tweet out your question to me on Twitter, that I just asked this super chat, this is my question. Because until YouTube doesn't, and this is not a problem that I'm facing, even Sham seems to be facing the same problem. That's why, if you remember in the last show, Sham also mentioned the same thing. We can't go through the super chats. So I'll take your super chats. Or if you want to avoid all of this, the best way is just use the UPI feature. Send me the UPI donation and message me on Twitter, or email me at contact@kushalmehra.com. That's the best. You send the donation on UPI, send a screenshot and the question to me in the email or on Twitter. It doesn't matter. Now let's start. Okay, I'm gonna start sharing the Pew thingy. Kahan gaya bhai? So let me now see. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start today with, let's see the table of contents first. Okay, let me put it up. So this is the table of contents right here. So today we will try to do religious freedom, discrimination and communal relations, and diversity and pluralism, right? We will try to cover these 2 or 3. So let's go to this one. We're only going to look at the charts, and we're going to talk about them. So here's the first chart. So what does the Pew poll say here? Indians nearly universally say they are very free to practice their religion. Fewer say people of other religions very free. So this is Hindus say they're free to practice their religion, and what is the Hindu view of other people? There's Muslims. So the difference between pretty much, other than Jains, which is very interesting, everybody else, Jains and Sikhs, everybody is in the same range. And what is interesting over here is the differentiation between men and women is also smack bang same. So notice this one: men and women are also almost same. Even the age groups of 35 and above and 18 to 34 are almost same. Even when it comes to college education, almost same. Even in the entire geographical distribution in India, it's almost same. So what does this say? This means, what can we derive from this is the first question that we need to ask ourselves, right? So the first question we need to derive is that if a majority of Indians, they think that they have a very high degree of religious freedom, it means that the narrative around all of India, and let's talk about different narratives. So there is a left wing narrative in India, right? The left wing narrative in India is that, there is bigotry, there is this, there is that, people are not allowed to practice their religion, blah 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 blah. Minorities are in danger, minority rights are in danger, minorities don't have the freedom to do this, minorities don't have the freedom to do that. That is point number one. This particular stat basically blows the living daylights out of that. Every single claim across India is basically totally shattered by this stat. Now, let's go to the next one. This one is relatively small shares across different age groups, educational backgrounds say there is a lot of religious discrimination in India. Again, look at this. So you have the general population, you have the religious spread, you have the men and women. Again, what is interesting is, even in this, there is no real deviation between the men and women. The highest deviation happens to be between Muslim men and Muslim women. That's all. Which is fascinating if you ask me. Even within the age groups, there is barely any differentiation. What is very interesting is that over here you see, in people who have a college degree, obviously, and no college degree, there is also barely any differentiation. So once again, to back up what was happening in the previous slide, what does it show? That there is barely any religious discrimination in India. It's as clear as daylight. Now the point is, till now, before we used to have all these discussions about religious discrimination in India. You had debate after debate, debate after debate, debate after debate, saying, "Oh, minorities khatre mein hai, ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai." But what was the reality? This is the reality. Until now, believe me, we did not have a single poll that would look at trends in India in this way. And this is why, mark my words, they hate this poll so much, especially the left. The left hates this poll with like some serious passion. So again, most people in India do not see religious discrimination. So this is the regional variation in Muslims' perception of discrimination. So what is the regional variation? This is very interesting. So percentage of Muslims who say there is a lot of discrimination against Muslims in India today. So the highest seems to be Muslims in the north. Central Indian Muslims barely see any discrimination. East, west, south, and northeast. So it's very interesting is the Muslims in central India seem to be thinking the least when it comes to this, and the Muslims in the north seems to be thinking that there is discrimination. Obviously, here's the thing: this is natural if you look at it. People who pray daily in vis-a-vis playing less often. This was obviously very natural. So, And this is a very important point. You check this one over here. So this was very important, and this stood out for me too. The difference by observance is pronounced in the north, where 39% of Muslims who pray every day say there is a lot of discrimination against Muslims in India, roughly twice the share amongst those in the same region who pray less often. So, what can we draw out of this? So, what do you think we can draw out of this? Again, so of the very natural thing that we can draw out of this is obviously the more devout you are, the more skin in the game you have in terms of your religious identity, your religious practice, your religious freedom. So that is very natural, point number one. So I'm not at all surprised that more practicing Muslims feel they are being discriminated against. So that's not a surprise at all over there, as far as I'm concerned. That is very natural. Also, that in terms of practicing Muslims, there seems to be a huge chunk of practicing Muslims that tend to be in the northern side of India. Obviously, when they say northern side, I'm pretty sure this must be a chunk of them must be UP Bihar, and this is more of a UP Bihar, phenomena. So there you go. Now let's go into the next one. Religious minorities generally no more likely than Hindus to report recent discrimination. Okay, again, this is again I want to repeat this is what they mean. Percentage of Indian adults who say they have felt personally discriminated against in the last 12 months because of the religion. Over here again, very interesting is Christians feel the least discriminated. They are very less likely to feel recently that they were discriminated against because of their religion. Muslims are the highest, Sikh people are the next, Hindus are the third, and Buddhists and Jains are this. Again, here you see the men and women almost same spread, and even in the age groups, the same spread. The big difference here is the college graduates feel barely any need, there barely any feeling, have any feeling. This gap is huge actually, if you notice here. This gap between the college graduates and the less than college. So people who are less than college graduates, again, what could be the reason for that? I think one of the things again could be that, I don't know, the more educated you become, the less religious you become. There is a correlation between the degree of religiosity and your investment in religion overall. So I think that could be one reason for that. Again, other than that, the spread of people, I'm not surprised. Now here's the interesting bit. When we saw the previous slide, if you remember, in Muslims in central India, barely any Muslims felt religious discrimination. But when it comes to the overall percentage of people who feel recently discriminated, central and northern India are pretty much similar, and northeast is the highest. Now here's the interesting bit, right? Now when we say northeast, which religion is feeling more discriminated is what I was wondering about. But unfortunately, they did not talk about it over here. This is something that stood out to me when I was reading this Pew survey, this bit about the Northeast. So the people in the Northeast have felt religious discrimination the most recently. This whole thing is just about recent. Now, the standard image is that most people in the Northeast tend to be Christians, but no, but Northeast is also Bengal, right? So Bengal has a huge chunk of Hindus and Muslims over there. So I don't know when we are talking about, which is very interesting. So who are these people is something that this poll doesn't talk about. So I don't know what to, are these Christians? Because the number over here with Christians is they are the least who have felt recently discriminated, and over here it is 33%. So I guess major chunk of this 21% Muslims, they must be the ones who feel discriminated against, I'm assuming, because the two numbers just don't make sense to me personally. So I guess that would be the case. Again, this one is Muslims in North and Northeast most likely to say they have experienced religious discrimination. You see how they have answered the question of this one. Like I said, because this 10% and 33% made no sense, and they immediately clarify it over here. Muslims in North and Northeast feel the most discrimination. So that clarifies the previous one. So this is pretty straightforward. You look at it. So this is the percentage of Indian Muslims who say they have personally felt discriminated against in the last 12 months because of their religion. North has the highest chunk, and Northeast has the highest chunk. And you can say whatever you want to say. There is only one common angle over here. There are two major states in North and Northeast India where you have 27 to 30% of the population that is Muslim. One is UP and one is Bengal. Those are the two states that have the highest population of Muslims. And are we surprised that that is the trend over there? I'm not, honestly. Now, this is another very interesting thing. Look at this. Only 14% of people who have not faced financial hardship have complained about recent religious discrimination, but 30% of the people who have faced a financial hardship recently in this data set, have felt religious discrimination. Now, my natural question would be, what could be the reason for this? Now, if you ask me, this could be one of the reasons that these people felt hard done by. It's very natural that, when you're under the pump, when you're feeling the pressure, as they say, you tend to find reasons to blame the world. And this could be one of the reasons. I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I think humans tend to project such kind of emotions all the time. Another thing that, I'm not surprised here. People who pray daily versus play less often. Obviously, people who pray daily are much more likely. They have more skin in the game, so they're naturally going to feel discriminated against. That's a natural thing. I don't blame them. And I don't blame this one either. People with a favorable view of INC, 26% of that set who feels discriminated daily tend to be having a favorable view of INC, and the ones who have an unfavorable view of INC are 15%. Now, here's the thing. Don't assume that people who have an unfavorable view of INC are people who have a favorable view of BJP. They could have a favorable view of AIMIM and hate INC, thinking INC betrayed them. So keep that in mind. Do not assume because of A, it becomes B. Do not make that assumption. But this was a very interesting chart. So here's the thing. All right. So highest perceptions of discriminations in the Northeast. This is very interesting. Here you go. In the Northeast, percentage of adults who say there is a lot of discrimination against in India today. Look at the Hindu percentage. So this is the line. Indians in the Northeast are more likely than those elsewhere to perceive high levels of religious discrimination. For example, roughly 4 in 10 in the region say there is a lot of discrimination against Muslims in India, about twice the share of North Indians who say the same thing. Much of the Northeast perception of high religious discrimination is driven by Hindus in the region. I want to repeat this line. Much of the Northeast's perception of high religious discrimination is driven by the Hindus in the region. A slim majority of Northeastern Hindus, 55%, say there is widespread discrimination against Hindus in India, while almost as many say Muslims face a lot of discrimination. Substantial share of Hindus in the Northeast say other religious communities also face mistreatment. What does it say about the atmosphere in the Northeast? What do you think it says about the Northeast? A, Northeast is the tinderbox of communal polarization, and the communal polarization in the Northeast India is not just Hindu Muslim. Communal polarization in Northeast is Hindu Christian, Muslim Christian, Muslim Hindu. It is a triangular discrimination, and in that, obviously, you have Buddhists too who are suffering sometimes, and Jains. But it's crystal clear that Northeast is a communal tinderbox. And if you were an Indian, you should be concerned about Northeast and the communal temperature and the communal atmosphere when it comes to religion in the Northeast. And the trends are pretty similar. Pretty. And it's the highest amongst Hindus and Muslims. I mean, it's a significant drop between Hindus and Christians if you look at it. And we should be worried about it, is my point. Let's go to the next one. Unemployment tops list of national concerns, but most in India see communal violence as a major issue. So let's see this. In the general population, you have 84% who believe unemployment is a problem. Corruption is 76%, crime 76%, violence against women 76%, and communal violence is 65%. Now we look at the... So let's first look at overall. Amongst men, women also, the trend, I mean, a 3 to 4% gap, I don't really think is a big deal. Even between the age groups, it is pretty much the same. This is not at all surprising that college graduates have a 5% higher concern about unemployment in comparison to people who are less than college graduates. And it's the same with corruption. It is a 7% jump. In crime, it is 4%, which is very surprising. It should have been more. Violence against women too, and in communal violence. So that is a natural thing. I'm not really judging anybody who's less than a college graduate, but that was expected. And even in the caste matrix, it's pretty much the same between the general category and the other castes. And even the region wise spread is pretty standard. And look at this, even the rural urban divide is very standard, and even between the religious and the irreligious, it is very standard. And even cutting across religions, it's pretty much standard. So what is the one thing that we need to take out of this particular data set, or this data that we have on our screen right now? This is what the concern is of Indians, right? What do our politicians do? What has been the political discussion in India? Has anybody ever thought about that? Have our politicians discussed anything sensible? I mean, I especially want to focus on the opposition here. This slide is for the opposition. If the opposition should be told that they should be attacking the BJP, first thing on the economy, second thing on law and order, because look at this, corruption and crime is the same number. So what is crime all about? And violence against women are about? What is it? And even communal violence, what is it all about? It is all under law and order and judicial issues. I always say this, India's problem is India does not have a Nyaya Niti, India does not have a Danda Niti. And at least 4 out of these 5 are covered by law and order and judiciary, and 1 is economics. And what does the opposition do all the time in India? They talk about everything else other than what this chart talks about. So what does it say about the opposition in India? That the opposition in India is the single largest conglomeration of dummies that we could ever find on planet Earth. The opposition in India is nothing but a bunch of morons. You have the numbers over here. This is literally what the Indian people are worried about. But the opposition is not worried about that, because the opposition thinks polarization is the best thing. Let's go to the next slide. Mixed views on whether partition was a good or bad thing for Hindu-Muslim relations. This is very interesting. So 41% of the general population says it was a good thing, and 39% says it was a bad thing. And neither is 20%. Amongst men and women, interestingly, in women, neither is 6% higher. In age groups, surprisingly, I was shocked that even within the age groups, the change is not that much. So even from the 65 and above to the 18 to 34, there's not much of a difference. And even amongst the educational distribution, now obviously this is interesting, that highest amongst the people who say it is a good thing, partition, are amongst the south. And weren't the people in the south the least disturbed by the partition? But interestingly, they think partition was the best. Then the people in the west think it's the best. In the east, only 31%, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. And even cutting across religions, let's see the results. 43% Hindus say partition was a good thing. 37% Christians, 25% Sikhs say partition was a good thing. I'm not surprised, because the Sikh community really paid a heavy price for the partition. So I'm not surprised. 50% Buddhists said it's the best thing to have happened, partition. Jains, 41%. The least percentage who said it's a good thing is Muslims. Now, I'm not going to get into why Muslims think it is a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, Chetan, I've seen you have given a super chat over. Chetan, can you do me a favor and tweet a message out or email me your question, because of the problem I'm facing? So everybody who's going to give me a super chat, please either email me at contact@kushalmehra.com or just tweet the question out to me, please. This is my request for today until the YouTube bug is solved. Anyway, so I'm not surprised Muslims by and large think partition was not a good thing and it was a bad thing. I think partition was perceived to be, I guess, a demographic loss. What else? I don't know. I don't know what else to make of this, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I want to hear your views too. But I think it is the only thing that I can make out of it. So most Muslims in the north and west say partition was a bad thing for Hindu-Muslim relations. Yeah. Duh. The partition literally was on religious lines. So even in central India. So yeah. Interestingly, Muslims in the northeast think partition was not a bad thing. It was a good thing. I wonder what they are thinking. So what is the difference between the Muslims in the north and the Muslims in the northeast? It's a very interesting phenomena. Look at the Hindus. The Hindus are consistent across the regions. I mean, yeah, you can say the ones in the east are off here, but overall the numbers in the Hindus are pretty standard. I don't know what happened to the southern Indian Hindus. My brothers in the south, why do you think the partition was the way it was? But well, southern Indian brothers are in their own in their own zone. But yeah, I wonder what the Muslims in the northeast were thinking. But this one's also interesting. And look at the gap between this, huh? So the ones who had no financial hardship think partition is a good thing. The ones who have a financial hardship say even have had a financial hardship are the highest supporters of partition has had a good thing. With no financial hardship, they are even lesser in number who say partition was a good thing. And who had no financial hardship say partition was a bad thing. What the hell is happening here? This is so weird. Do you see this? I'll repeat this again. In Muslims, people who have had no recent financial hardship, 51% of them think partition was a bad thing. And 24% say it is a good thing. While Muslims who have had a financial hardship, 43% said it's a bad thing and 37% said it's a good thing. I don't know what's happening with the financially stable Muslim brothers out there, but it is what it is. Now we've completed point one. Now here's the thing. Now to all the live viewers, do you want me to go to diversity and pluralism 2 and cover another one, or you want to do this next time? It's 35 minutes. I think we can go on for 10-15 minutes and we can do it, I believe. So tell me, the ones in the live stream, do you want to cover the second part, diversity and pluralism, or not? or I can chat with you guys and then wrap it up, because I'm very clear. I'm only going to answer super chats and a few questions here and there. All right, let's cover it. Okay, diversity and pluralism. Okay, let's look at it. Many in India do not take a position on whether religious diversity is beneficial or harmful to their country. So, percentage of Indian adults who say India's religious diversity. So, the general population, religious diversity, they say 53% benefits, 24% harms, and 24% they don't have a position on it. In Hindus, 52% say religious diversity benefits, 24% says harms, and 24% say neither. In Muslims, more Muslims think than Hindus that religious diversity helps. Christians, the maximum number of Christians exists in this poll. They don't care about religious diversity. The most in the religious groups are the Sikhs believe the highest in terms of religious diversity, which is very interesting. Across men and women, the trend is the same. More women are there who don't care about religious diversity. Even age wise, the spread is the same. Even college wise, the spread is the same. Interestingly, the highest number of people in India who seem to like religious diversity are people in the north and in the northeast. And the highest number of people who hate religious diversity are in the south. And the highest number of people who seem to be indifferent to religious diversity are the ones in the east. And in this, very interesting, and this is obviously 55% of the people who say it is important think religious is very important, and amongst irreligious people, obviously they don't, still they also think religious diversity tends to help. Magar, obviously it's natural, they would have been in this range, which is neither, don't know or don't care kind of a thing. They basically don't know or don't care. But again, what is up with the people in the north and the northeast? It's obviously very clear that the folks in the north and the northeast seem to care a lot more about religion than other people, in my opinion. That's my view. And now people can disagree with me, but it is what it is. Folks in the north and the northeast tend to have a lot of interest in religion. Now, Hindus who have a favorable view of the BJP say religious diversity benefits India. Now, this one stat basically destroys the entire edifice of left wing claims in India. This basically destroys leftism in India, to be very honest. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but leftism in India should be crying right now. So just look at it. Hindus who have a favorable view of BJP say religious diversity. 57% people who are favorable of BJP think religious diversity helps. So what can we extrapolate from this? A, that people who favor BJP tend to be more Hindu mentally. So naturally, when they tend to be more Hindu, they tend to be more Hindu by nature, which is why they like religious diversity as a default position. I am not at all surprised by this. I have always maintained that people who are more Hindu in essence in India today are voting for BJP. And if you are more Hindu in essence, it is a very natural outcome that you're going to be in favor of religious diversity, because that's just a natural Hindu by default position. So I'm not surprised by this at all. This is a very natural position to take, in my view. But again, never forget this chant, this particular stat. And every time they say, here RSS, Hindutva, BJP wants to homogenize India and make one Hinduism, throw this stat on their face, like stick it on their face or stick it on their back, where they walk around everywhere with this stat every time they say this. All right. With few exceptions, Indians of different religious backgrounds don't see much in common with other religious groups in the country. This is also pretty expected. 64% of Muslims say Muslims in India are very different from Hindus. Are you surprised by this? 58% of Christians say they are very different from Hindus. 42% of Sikhs say they are very different from Hindus. 67% of Buddhists say they are very different from Hindus. And 33% of Jains say they are very different from Hindus. Now let us go through it. I'm not surprised at all, because it's fine to have your own unique religious identity before people think this is a big deal. I think it's not a big deal. Now, 66% of Hindus think they are very different from Muslims. What's the big deal? I don't think so. 59% of Hindus think they are very different from Christians. 49% of Hindus think they are very different from Jains. When it comes to Buddhists, 50% of Hindus think they are very different from Buddhists. 51% of Hindus think they are very different from Sikhs. It's the same thing. So it's very standard. This trend is very straightforward. And what's the big deal? I don't think so. It's a big deal. This chart is very standard, that Indians, while love diversity, they are also fine with being different from each other. Now, to the Abrahamic mind, this might be like, hang on, what the hell are these people talking about? How can they like religious diversity, celebrate religious diversity, at the same time also believe that we are very different from each other and still live with each other? And this is where I say the Abrahamic mind might find it very disturbing. The Abrahamic mind, that is an exclusivist mind that looks at things from their lens, might find this stat to be disturbing. I don't. I think this is a very natural Indian mindset where they are very fine with difference. They are very fine with difference. But at the same time, they are very fine living together too. This is a very normal stat for India. So please don't get surprised. They don't have religious commonality, but they still believe we can live together. This is the Hindu way. So don't be. I'm not. So more Sikh than members of other religious groups see common ground in India among religious groups. That's fine. I don't see anything. So the general population, none of the religious groups, 64%. Some other religious groups is 19%. Most of other religious groups is 6%. All of the other religious groups is. So as you see, this is the Sikh population. The Sikh population is basically the highest in this. Jains are too there, but it is. So basically, 52% Sikhs say they have a lot in common with Hindus, while just 20% of Hindus say the same about Sikhs, which is very interesting. And 23% Sikhs say that they have a lot in common with other religious groups. So it is what it is. And Jains also 15% are there. Only 11% of Hindus say they have a lot in common with other religious groups. Sikhs have the highest commonality. Again, this is not a surprising stat at all. So I don't see anything out of this world in this one either. And people in the north are more likely than other regions to say, their religious group has a lot in common with other groups. And that is basically because of the socio-cultural reality of India. Northern India has seen more interreligious conflict, or more interreligious violence, or more interreligious exchange. So I'm not really surprised, to be very honest, with this. Again, if you look at the history of Northern India, it has always been the place where people from outside have come in. So in that sense, Northern India is always going to have this kind of a sentiment. Generally, Indians say they have limited knowledge about religions other than their own. This was the funniest one. Most Indians say they know a lot about their own religion, and a very high shares in each religious group. They say they know at least some about their own faith. For example, 92% of Hindus say they know Hinduism a lot or something about Hinduism. Considerably fewer people say they know a great deal or even some about other religions. For example, roughly a third, 36% of Hindus say they know at least something about Islam, and even fewer say they know something about Christianity. About 1 in 5 Hindus say they have at least some knowledge of Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, despite theological similarities between Hinduism and these three religions. Most Hindus say they know not very much or nothing at all about each or the other faith. This is again, this is very normal human phenomena. But this is the interesting bit, what I want to talk about in this chart. See, it was very natural that Muslims would know Islam, Christians will know Christianity, Sikhs would know Sikhism, Buddhists will know Buddhism, Jains would know Jainism. But look at the irony. The one religion all these other groups know the most is which one? 50% Muslims believe they know Hinduism, 66% Christians believe they know Hinduism, 62% Sikhs think they know a little bit of Hinduism, 59% Buddhists think they know Hinduism, 92% Jains think they know Hinduism. So all these other folks know Hinduism, while the Hindus don't pay any attention to the other people's religion. Isn't that interesting? The Hindus know the least about other religions according to them, while others think they know a lot about Hinduism. This is a fascinating stat. I don't think people realize the importance of this. So each and every other religious denomination in India thinks they know a great deal or something about Hinduism. On the other hand, the Hindus don't know a lot about others. This is very interesting. Now, in terms of Islam, again, the numbers are not that, interesting. Like 36% Hindus know Islam, 47% Christians, 26% Sikhs, Buddhists 25%, Jains 25%. It's not big, huge. The only aberration is they all know Hindu. Why do they know Hinduism? Why? Because Hinduism still is the main religion of India. Because Hinduism is the one that controls the religious discourse in India. So I'm not at all surprised. Not at all surprised. So while you might think this is surprising, I'm not. Now, what I feel worried about is it also shows the Hindu blind spot, that the Hindus are stupid and they think all religions are the same. Why do I need to know the other religion? They're all the same. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, Kumbaya, hold the hands, walk around, dancing in the aisles. That's why Hindus are morons. I'm sorry to break your heart, Hindus. This chart showed Hindus are morons. All the others seem to study Hinduism. Hindus are least bothered about studying the other. Hindus are morons. This chart proves that. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Half of the Indians say many religions can be true. Are you surprised with this stat now? My religion is the one true religion. 42% says many religions can be true. 51%. Now, cutting across religions, 52% Hindus say, surprise, surprise, many religions can be true. 42% Muslims say many religions can be true. 48% Christians say many religions can be true. 55% Sikhs say many religions can be true. 52% Buddhists and 45% Jains. The male to female ratio is the same. Age group, college, obviously college graduates are 9% more. And the regional distribution, Central and Northeast Indians are the least ones who seem to believe many religions can be true. I don't know what's happening in Central India, but it is what it is. But look, There are many ways to look at it. You can say the glass is half empty. I can say the glass is half full. This is a very heartening statistic, which shows that the dharmic essence, the dharmic chitti of India is not done. When two Abrahamic religions, Christianity and Islam, and if 42 and 48% of those religions people say that many religions can be true, I'm not surprised with the Sikh, Buddhist, Jain number. I'm not at all surprised. But when these numbers say that, look, guys, stop with the paranoia. This is a very heartening statistic. And you need to kind of get over the paranoia. I am not saying that we don't need to be careful, but between being careful and being paranoid, there is a line. I believe this is a very heartening statistic. Again, this is the statistic that I'm going to throw on the face of, you know, extreme Hindus, fear mongering Hindus, panic creating Hindus every time. I'm going to throw this on their face where I'll say 42% Muslims believe this and 48% Christians believe this. They will come back to me and say, but it could be 10 to 15% less. There is an error of 10 to 15%. Hang on. Why is the error always on the negative side? Why can't the error be on the positive side in a poll? It could be 10 to 15% more also, no? Not less. That is the point. The fear mongering amongst a section of the paranoid right-wing Hindu on social media is bullshit. And this chart basically why throws tutty on their face. I'm sorry to say this, and if you're offended by my language, Sanuki, it is what it is. Let's go to the next one. Most Hindus in the north and south say many religions can be true. Fewer Muslims agree. Okay, so the north Hindus are fine, the south Hindus are fine. Everybody in between is like, no, it's fine. This is a regional variation. I'm fine to live with it. Not a big deal. And in the south, Muslim number changes. Fine. I think this is not a big deal. This was nothing surprising. Substantial share of Buddhists, Sikhs say they have worshipped at religious venues other than their own. Some non-Hindus say they have prayed, meditated, or performed rituals at Hindu temples. So 8% Muslims, 20% Christians, 22% Sikhs, 38% Jain, Buddhists, 67% Jains. Are you surprised over here? Are you? Really? Are you surprised with this stat? And isn't this heartening? Like, really? 38% Buddhists have worshipped at a Hindu temple, 22% Sikhs, 20% Christians have worshipped at a Hindu temple, 8% Muslims. Okay, I get it. Their religion is really against idolatry, so I get it. 67% Jains. I think Jains and Hindus, the overlap is so similar. Like, I don't know if Jains are separate or not. Like, they are to like, brothers in arms. This entire poll shows one thing: Jains and Hindus are like inseparable. They're like left hand and right hand, to be very honest. But I'm not really surprised. Jains tend to go to the Gurdwara also a lot. So Jains are like, हम तो हर जगह जाएंगे, हमको मजा आता है. So again, this is not a surprising thing. 1 in 5 Hindus in the north say they have prayed, meditated, or performed a ritual in a Sikh Gurdwara. Not at all surprising. This is a very natural thing. So I'm not surprised over here. This is not really that surprising at all. This is absolutely spot on. Substantial minorities of Indians have worshipped at venues belonging to other religions. Look at this. 71% Jains have gone to at least one. 44% Buddhist, 31% Sikh, 26% Christian, 18% Muslims have gone to at least one place of worship other than a mosque, including those who have worshipped at a Sufi shrine. All is not lost, my friends. All is not lost. 18% Muslims in this country have gone and worshipped in another shrine. All is not lost, my friends. Remember this. All right, let's go to the other one. 1 in 5 Muslims in India participate in celebrations of Diwali. Are we surprised here? Are we? 82% Muslims. So let us look at first the Independence Day. 88% Hindus, 82% Muslims, 79% Christians, 77 Sikh. Jains are the most patriotic. 90% Jains celebrate Independence Day. They are the most Hindu and most patriotic. Jains are highest in every number. 98% Jains celebrate Diwali. More Jains celebrate Diwali than Hindus celebrate Diwali. What the hell is going on with the Jain folks? The Jains seem to be number one in everything. Jains are the true Hindus. Jains are ahead in everything. It's hilarious, actually. 93% celebrate Holi. They're number one in everything. The highest number of Jains celebrate Valentine's Day too. Oh my God. Even amongst the minorities, Jains are like second in Christmas. 9% celebrate Eid. More Jains celebrate Eid than Hindus. Now look at this. I was interested in this one, right? Holi and Diwali. 20% Muslims celebrate Diwali. 16% celebrate Holi. 31% celebrate Christians celebrate Diwali. 25% celebrate Holi. 7% Hindus celebrate Eid, but 20% Muslims celebrate Diwali. If you're going to talk about, one group celebrating the other, so in the case of Muslims, I think more Muslims are celebrating the quintessential Hindu festivals than Hindus are celebrating the quintessential Muslim festival. I'm just putting it out there. And far more Hindus, I'm not surprised, celebrate Christmas than they celebrate Eid. 17% celebrate 17% Hindus celebrate Christmas. 22% Hindus celebrate Valentine's Day. Why am I not surprised there? But look, all is not lost here, folks. There is still a dharmic essence to Muslims and Christians, especially with Christians, so there is a lot of dharmic essence in them. I don't know why people. Diwali celebrations more among Muslims in the West and South. Okay, North and Northeast. All right, that's not surprising. I'm not at all surprised with this. Valentine's Day more commonly celebrated by college-educated urban Indians. Partisanship makes little difference. Are we surprised, really? Obviously, Valentine's Day is literally a commercial, urban concept that has been put out for Indians. So, no, I'm not really surprised with the Valentine's Day thing. What I find hilarious is that Pew wanted to check who celebrates Valentine's Day, and they added Valentine's Day as a category. I guess they must have been inspired by Shiv Sena beating people up to really be concerned about this. More men like Valentine's Day than women. And in the ages, also age groups is not surprising. 35 plus don't celebrate Valentine's Day. College graduates are more, urban are more. So look at this. What do they say? BJP leaning Hindutva people like to beat people up on Valentine's Day. They are so bigoted. They don't like people loving each other. Blah, 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 blah. But look at this stat here. Just look at it. People with a favorable view of BJP, 21. Unfavorable view of you, 20. That also does not really change. So people who have a favorable opinion of the ruling party are no less likely than those who have an unfavorable view of the BJP to say they celebrate Valentine's Day. But what is the narrative that is spread in the media, my friends? That BJP hates Valentine's Day. They go around beating people on Valentine's Day. The data says something else. So next time somebody accuses the BJP of this Valentine's Day shenanigan, again, throw this on their face. All right. Okay. So we have completed 2 sections. It took an hour, but this was very important. Now we'll stop the screen share. And now let me answer your questions. Let's chat for half an hour. Okay. Let's see who has asked me a question. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me see. तवलीन सिंह एक वीडियो में कहा बॉलीवुड हैज डन अ फैंटास्टिक जॉब ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटिंग सनातन धर्म. नीश कमेंट्स में लिखा था, कुछ समझ नहीं पड़ा आपका कमेंट, सो मैं क्या बोलूं. Continued next. I don't know what you mean by that. So I don't know what Tavleen Singh has said. So how do I know? Where do you get the best vada pav in Mumbai? I mean, I have answered this last time also. I think in Chembur there are two spots. One is near the Sai Baba temple towards Chembur station, and one is near the old post office. Post office ke nazdik jo hai, that is also amazing vada pav. So those two spots are very good in Chembur. I think that is the best vada pav in Chembur. So what else is there? So let me see. So I don't see any other super chat. So let me see if there are any random comments. I will look at the random comments and okay, why are you spamming? Darsha, you are out. Chirant, what is your question? Okay. Where is your question, Chirant? And Sriram Prasanna, I have not seen your question too. Okay, let me see. You have tagged me? All right, let me see. Sriram Prasanna. I don't see your question, Sriram. Chirant, okay. You said that you disagree a lot with Rajiv Malhotra on what, this is Chirant, on what issues? I disagree with Rajiv Malhotra on his understanding and usage of the word Cārvāka 2.0 to criticize Sheldon Pollock. I disagree with Rajiv Malhotra in his other claim that, you know, kya tha? I forgot his. It is specific. Yeah. So he said that belief in reincarnation has to be a prerequisite for being qualified as a Hindu. I disagree with that. So that is one more thing that we disagree on. So I have given you two standard disagreements that I have with Rajiv Malhotra. He seems to have an allergy to disbelief and atheism. I don't. So there you go. Okay, Sriram Prasanna. So, Sriram, I got your question. Thank you. Did Sanskrit exist before Ashoka? Which Sanskrit textbook that we have proof of its existence? Recently, I saw Science Journal YouTube channel, Neo Buddhist channel. Sanskrit was created after 11th century. Hey, what nonsense! Sanskrit is not a 11th century thing. Huh? संस्कृत नहीं है 11th century. ये किस नॉनसेंस इंसान ने ये क्लेम किया है? संस्कृत इज नॉट 11th century. What a load of bollocks. कुछ भी. ओके, आ गया तन्मय रायता फैलाने. विल तालिबान एम्ब्रेस हिंदुइज्म? ये मेरे चेहरे पे लिखा है, मैं चू. विल तालिबान एम्ब्रेस हिंदुइज्म? विल आई बिकम द इनक्रेडिबल हल्क? मतलब कुछ तो शर्म करो क्वेश्चन पूछने के पहले. मतलब शर्म भी नहीं आती ऐसे गंदे गंदे क्वेश्चन, इतने घटिया घटिया क्वेश्चन. तो मेरे को हंसी आ रही है तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन सुन के. इतना घटिया क्वेश्चन मैंने मेरी लाइफ में नहीं सुना. हंसी आ रही है इस क्वेश्चन के ऊपर. तुमने साला कॉमेडी शो लगा के रखा है. Will Taliban accept Hinduism? अबे साला उन्होंने बामिया बुद्धा उड़ा दिया. वो हर चीज को उड़ा रहे हैं. उधर बैठ कर तुम सबकी धुलाई हो रही. और तुम पूछ रहे हो Will Taliban embrace Hinduism? Oh यार. Do you agree with Sanjay Dikshit of the Jaipur dialogues? Lately has become full on anti-Muslim rant and doubt and blaming it for all the bad. I don't watch Jaipur dialogues. I cannot comment. I'm not weaseling out of your question. सच कह रहा हूं. I literally don't watch Jaipur dialogues. I literally don't watch more. This is how I will be. मैं श्याम शर्मा के वीडियोस देखता हूं on and off. बाकी आपके जितने यूट्यूब कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स हैं इंडिया के, मैं उनका कंटेंट नहीं देखता हूं. आई डोंट फॉलो, आई एम बीइंग वेरी ऑनेस्ट, डेली पॉलिटिक्स. मैं सच में डेली पॉलिटिक्स फॉलो नहीं करता हूं. मेरा, you have to understand, for me to create content for you guys, now I don't know how to say it, but I believe my content is very serious and good quality. I work very hard. Even today, before this monologue, I was in the coffee shop reading non-stop for 2.5 hours, studying the Pew poll, going through the charts. I had targeted 2 sections and focusing on what I can bring forward, what are the trends I see over there. If you want me to go on content creating and making serious points, you have to understand I will not watch any of these people. I will not comment on things I have not watched. If that is the version you are saying is the truth, I don't agree with him then. I don't want to be associated with any of this. I am not anti-Muslim. I am being very clear here. Himanshu, does Taliban have its origin in Deoband? I'll have to check it. I honestly don't know. So I don't know. आनंद, stop laughing, making me laugh. अरे तो हंसी आएगी ना, इतना थर्ड क्लास क्वेश्चन नहीं तो तालिबान में लड़ रहा है सब. What the hell is this? What kind of a question was that? तो हंसी नहीं आएगी तो क्या रो क्वेश्चन के लिए? Want to partner with you to sell burqas in Afghanistan? My Tavleen Singh question, I have tweeted it to you. See, as far as the sale of burqas, Chirant, is concerned, I don't want your partnership. Why should I reduce my profit? कुछ भी. Why should I reduce my profit? You do not add any value to my business there. Manufacturer में बेचना मुझे आता है, मैं तुमको क्यों लूं और मेरा प्रॉफिट घटाऊं? कमाल है यार. ओके चिरांत, आपका क्वेश्चन तो मैंने आंसर कर दिया ना. और कौन सा था? तवलीन सिंह वाला. आपका मैंने क्वेश्चन तो आंसर कर दिया. ओके, और क्या है? Can I send you the article countering some AIM's historical hypothesis? Sure, भेजो 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 भेजो. I want to partner with you and sell Nimbu with that burqa. Okay, I'm going to do something very weird, but ruko, I'll show you guys something. This is not for sale, because I'm assuming nobody would want to buy this, but I actually made a t-shirt for me. And this t-shirt is dedicated to my dear friend who is abusing me on WhatsApp right now, Nikhil Mehra. You know, we have finally declared who is the asli Mehra. It has been. So this is the t-shirt I made for myself. I'm going to proudly wear this tomorrow and going to show it to the world with my trademark Nimbu. This is the asli Mehra. So I've made this t-shirt only for myself. Obviously, I'm not going to put it for sale because who will be so moronic to buy this t-shirt? So this t-shirt is just made for me. But I just wanted to rub it into my dear friend Nikhil, and I'm going to make a Nakli Mehra t-shirt just for Nikhil. And when I go to Delhi, I'm going to tie him up, make him wear the Nakli Mehra t-shirt. I'll wear the Asli Mehra t-shirt, and then we'll take a photo together. So that's my thing. All right. And I hope you guys notice the Nimbu Mirchi in the bottom. Anand says you will buy. ठीक है Anand, if you want to buy, let me know. Okay, Utsav, Mullah brother just said he is adopting Buddhism and will spread Dhamma Chakra. मतलब यार तुम लोग साले आज मेरे को हंसाना चाहते हो पॉडकास्ट में, मतलब क्या कर रहे हो तुम साले? मतलब मैं बेवकूफ हूँ? बुद्धिस्ट बनेगा वो. Ravi, why is RAW so ineffective compared to the ISI? Ravi, when you say ineffectiveness, what are the parameters? Can you explain the parameters to me if you don't mind? So ineffective in terms of creating assets across the world, ineffective in terms of media management. If it is media management, Ravi, I'm 100% with you. In terms of assets, I'm not an expert in this field. I don't know enough, so I cannot answer that. But in media management, Ravi, I 100% agree with you. The ISI is like Freaking miles ahead. इंडिया विनिंग कुशल भाई, इंडिया इंग्लैंड की वाट लगा दी. क्या बात कर रहा है? क्या स्कोर है? रुक, क्या स्कोर है? 99-7. कहाँ जीत रही है? मैच खत्म थोड़ी ना हुआ है, 3 विकेट बाकी है भैया. थोड़ी ना इंडिया जीत रही है. देखेंगे जीती तो. पहले ये बताओ, ऑड्री ट्रुस्की को तेजा क्यों बोलते हो? देखो, तेजा की क्या नेचर थी हर चीज में. वो सीन याद है ना, तेजा मैं हूं, मार किधर है, तेजा मैं हूं, मार किधर है करता रहता था. तो ऑड्री का आपने ट्विटर अवतार देखा है कि नहीं? हैव यू सीन हाउ ऑड्री बिहेव्स ऑन ट्विटर? एवरी टाइम somebody questions ऑड्री, शी सेज पीएचडी मेरे पास है, स्कॉलर मैं हूँ. पीएचडी इधर है, स्कॉलर मैं हूँ, पीएचडी इधर है. तो व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू सी दिस ट्रेंड विद ऑड्री, आई वाज लाइक ये तो तेजा है. इसको जब भी पूछते बोलती है तेजा मैं हूँ, मार किधर है. तो इसके लिए मैंने उसका नाम लेडी तेजा रखा. सो यू कैन बाय द लेडी तेजा टी शर्ट, दैट इज अवेलेबल ऑन सेल बाय द वे. ओके, let's see. Okay, somebody has sent another super chat on this thing. अपना क्या नाम है इसका? UPI. So I have not seen your question. In the meantime, और कोई questions थे comments से? Let me see. How do I see the future of religion in India? Do you see it as a melting pot khichdi from the urban to rural areas, or do you see some figure? See, melting pot khichdi नहीं होएगा India, मगर religion का future and Hinduism का future India में is very safe and secure, my dear friend Abhinav Jha. If you are going by the prediction of my dear friend Abhijit Iyer, I don't agree with him, and I want to give you some dilasa. Abhijit has a very good record of being wrong most of the time. So, अभिजीत की तालिबान की प्रेडिक्शन देखी ना, काबुल नहीं गिरेगा, काबुल गिर गया. ये नहीं गिरेगा, वो गिर गया. ट्रम्प जीतेगा, ट्रम्प हार गया. Abhijit has a beautiful record of being wrong all the time. So I'm so proud of my dear friend Abhijit. He's wrong all the time. चिरांत, बेस्ट मराठी फूड थाली इन मुंबई कहाँ मिलेगा? यार चिरांत, दिस इज सच अ टफ क्वेश्चन. लुक, आई एम बायस्ड टू चेंबूर. आई विल बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. माय लाइफ्स बेस्ट मराठी फूड is in Chembur Naka, Bhat. If you ever come to Chembur, go to Bhat. Super spicy food. मतलब फट के हाथ में आ जाने वाला तिखट खाना. Notice I use the word तिखट. I love Bhat, especially Bhat का मिसल. थाली I don't know. I think वो क्या था, प्रकाश या विसावा, क्या नाम था उसका, या प्रताप, I forgot the name. वो दादर में एक तो उधर था, वो जगह थी, और एक और जगह थी. I think that would be my answer, Chirant. How can the Taliban, who claims apostates to be the biggest enemies of Islam, speak praises of China? Are they also playing with China? They are not playing with China, Baba. China से पैसा चाहिए होगा. They would be using China. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. और क्या है यार? इतना क्या तुमको वो surprising लग रहा है? Why are you surprised that China is the way it is? So yeah. Doesn't this poll have a low sample size for a country? Harsh, aisa, look, you can say that, but as far as the sample size and these polls are concerned, so I'm telling you, let us assume it could be minus 10%, but it could be plus 10% also, na? But think about this. It still doesn't change the overall trend. It's a very promising trend, even with a minus or plus 10% sway or swing. Why are you so surprised? But Sanjay ji watches you. He has mentioned it several times. Yaar, is it? Yaar, have I committed a crime? I don't watch a lot of Abhinav's videos also. Like if Abhinav produces 5 videos a week, I might watch one odd video. अभिनव को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उससे. आई एम श्योर संजय जी ऑल्सो माइट नॉट हैव अ प्रॉब्लम. माई पॉइंट इज आई डोंट वॉच अ लॉट ऑफ these channels. I don't watch आज की ताजा खबर also. I don't watch another वो कौन सा है वो लोकतंत्र या सब लोकतंत्र. I just don't watch a lot of these things यार, माफ करना मुझे, but I don't tend to watch them. Okay, we have uh, last Pew Research on religion was funded by Templeton. We know what they do. Why is there no debate on what they wanted off of it? It doesn't matter. You'll be pleasantly surprised that Pew polls have follow-up polls. I don't know how much you read Pew. You know, the one thing I'm looking out for the most is now after this poll, Pew is going to have a follow-up poll. So what trends? If the trends hold up in India, that is what I'm looking forward to. So Abhilash, I don't think you should spin conspiracy theories every time. Chirant, recommend any good movies, series on Netflix Prime. Yeah, I am the worst person, Chirant. Look, I'll tell you what I watch. So I love muscle cars. Now you can judge me for all you want, but I just saw this Rush to Riches one, and that was on the Gotham Garage. I just finished that on Netflix, 3 seasons. That was a lot of fun. I just love concept cars and this whole idea of buying a car and just building it up from scratch, that kind of a thing. That then I'm watching this one because of a very close friend of mine who is calling me and abusing me right now on WhatsApp. He's like, match take. He's telling me that. I'm going to be meeting him later on. So I don't know if he's watching this live. मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं तेरे को बाद में मिलूंगा. He knows who he is, so he'll figure out. So, he told me to watch this thing called Special Ops on Prime. Nee, Disney Hotstar पे Special Ops. So I've just watched 3 episodes of Special Ops. So far, so good. मजा आ रहा है देख के. So these are the 2 things that I have seen. So what if we go all guns blasting and just enter Afghanistan and go rob Rambo on Taliban's behind with the message of Dharma? तुम यार मेरी लेने के लिए सुपर चैट देते हो. तुम ये क्यों करते हो? मतलब और तुम्हारा ये ट्रेंड है तो तुम साला यूएफसी की पॉडकास्ट होगी उसमें योकोजुना लाओगे. तालिबान के पीछे हम लोग ऑल गन्स ब्लेजिंग. अब साला अमेरिका कुछ नहीं कर पाया, रशिया कुछ नहीं कर पाया, और हम करेंगे उनको. मतलब कुछ सोच के तो बोला करो. पहले रशियन गए उधर, उन्होंने अपनी 15 साल ठुकवाई. अमेरिकी गए उधर, अमेरिकन ने 20 साल ठुकवाई. अभी तुम बोल रहे हो हम ठुकवा ले. ओ हम अपने आप को ही संभाल ले. इधर तुम बोलते हो हम उनको जाके संभाले. साले हमसे हमारे तो नहीं संभले जाते. तुम बोलते हो सारी दुनिया की संभालो. यार तुम मेरी क्यों ले रहे हो मेरी ही लाइव चैट पे? साले मेरी ही लेते लोग. और नॉनसेंस. ओके, फिर से देखें बाकी क्या हो रहा है. Any comment on regional Indian films? I have seen Marathi films. I have seen a few of them. I like them. I enjoy them. Isn't the appropriation of Hinduism a strategy of missionaries? Yeah, but how successful is it? That's the thing. Will Taliban rule be recognized by Union Government of India? I don't know. How is the Pakistani diaspora able to get so much sympathy from the West? It's just the Operation Olympics right now. Pakistan and Muslims have basically gotten into the chart pretty high, so that's the reason. लगता है कुशल जी के पैसे फंसे हैं बैटिंग में, तभी इंडिया की हार के लिए प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं. अरे घंटा, मैं तो खुश होऊंगा इंडिया जीती. मैं तो बैटिंग करता ही नहीं. मेरे को तो ऐसी कोई आदत नहीं है. एक पैसे की भी आदत नहीं है मुझे इन चीजों की. Why did constitution makers not prohibit caste system instead of untouchability? How can you, even if they wanted to, how can you? I mean, if people want to identify with their caste identity, you can't stop them. It's impossible to stop that. The Taliban get bored and embrace wokeism. I hope they do. That would be so awesome. Imagine a woke Taliban. How? Okay, here's the thing. Chalo, ye, I'm giving you some meme work. Give me some thoughts and memes of what a woke Taliban would be looking like on this Thursday's meme review with Sham and Abhijit. Let's have this theme: woke Talibanis. Do you, do you think Razib should promote dharma in Afghanistan via his genetic research? I don't get it. How can Razib do that? How is Razib going to manage that? Like, how do you do that through genetic research? How do genes spread that? I feel pity on Jaishankar nowadays. He looks like Manmohan Singh very much. It's just existing in this world with no real contribution towards it. Mm, I don't agree with you. I think, as always, I think you guys are. I think you're going by the version of Abhijit. Like, what do you expect Jaishankar to do? Like, take his gun and go around like goli maar dunga sabko. What is he gonna do? Like, what? What are you gonna do? My opinion on Sankhya philosophy, Piku, I've given the entire introduction to Sankhya on my monologues. My opinion to that philosophy is very well known, so I'm not going to repeat it over here. It's actually quite well known. You can go and check the monologues. Hmm. The end of Hinduism podcast made me lose sleep for 5 days. That's okay. Shit happens. Did you listen to the North Korean lady on the Joe Rogan podcast? Oh, hell yeah. That was an amazing podcast. That blew my mind away. Mm. Ineffective in actually protecting Indian interests, how they can still be riots and massacres in India. MI6 have stopped over 100 such riots. Look, a lot of riots in India get stopped, Ravi. The problem is that you only get to know about the ones that did not get stopped. That's the problem. A lot of riots do get stopped in India, but you don't get the ratio of that. And India in general has a law and order problem. So we have a very bad police to citizen ratio. So that has to be also considered in to question. Have I seen Sher Shah or thoughts? I have not seen, and I will most probably not see it. Cinema halls कब खोलेगा? I don't know. I think they want Amazon and Netflix and Hotstar to be the controllers of content. I seriously mean this, huh? No, no conspiracy theory here. I genuinely believe these jackasses want to destroy our regional and local cinema industry. लोग है ना बॉलीवुड की बात कर रहे हैं. Have you realized regional language cinema is getting destroyed because of lockdowns? Who's going to stand up for that? You people think about this. You want our languages to survive. You want Marathi cinema to survive. You want Gujarati cinema to survive. Punjabi cinema to survive. Tamil cinema to survive. How will they survive if the cinemas are shut? Tell me. And if they go on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all these channels, they will dedicate, they will control the flow of the content and make it like what their left leaning view. Think the danger lockdowns do to your narrative wars. सोचो इसके बारे में. Kushal ji has been lying all along. He is a secret convert to Scientology trying to misguide Hindu. ये क्या है? अब मैंने क्या किया? Scientology? What the hell? To be frank, that North Korean plastic ki dukan is a gold digger and belong to relatively privileged family in North Korea. She is an attention seeker at best. I don't know, so I will not comment. That is your view, not mine. It was a joke. Oh, shukar hai. You scared the shit out of me. Mm, What will happen between India and Afghanistan now? What was happening when Taliban was there before? वही होगा और क्या होगा? The same thing. What do you think? Who has the potential to be the best leader for India? I think you have the best option right now in Narendra Modi. Your thoughts on government of India granting visa to Afghans instead of focusing on non-Muslim minorities? I don't agree with that strategy. Look, some elites have to be gotten in. Let's be very clear. The people who have gotten in right now are just the elites of Afghan society. कोई general Afghan society से आएंगे नहीं. But I don't think so. The government is that stupid. They're going to get all the non-Muslim minorities out of there. And look, have some faith on the government. इतने बेवकूफ नहीं है जितना तुम समझते हो. My favorite YouTube channel. Oh my god. Phew. What is my favorite YouTube channel? I don't have one favorite. So many channels that I watch, but not Indian. Other than Sham Sharma. सिर्फ शाम का देखता हूँ मैं. Will the rise of Taliban mean something for Kashmir? Yeah, that is one worry that India should have, right? India should be worried about the rise of the Taliban because last time we had problems in Kashmir. So let's see how we deal with it, right? ये देखो डिफेंस सेक्टर का शेयर्स बढ़ेगा क्या अभी या आगे क्या लगता है मैं कोई थोड़ी ना शेयर ब्रोकर हूं जो मैं तुमको बताऊं मेरे को नहीं मालूम आ गया भैया Tanmay, I'm not going to share your current podcast super chat. I cannot because my channel will get shut. Do you think now that the Taliban has done what they can do, the tenets of Islam can finally be discussed constructively? No. It will, I mean, we are already discussing the tenets of Islam quite comfortably. But so your question is, can we do it amongst the left wing? No, they will never do it. They will look at what they're doing on the internet. They're practicing high level denialism. That's all they're good at, man. भोजपुरी फिल्म्स बंद हो जाए ह्यूमैनिटी पे एहसान हुआ ये अच्छी बात है बिल्कुल अच्छी बात नहीं है भोजपुरी फिल्म्स आर द ग्रेटेस्ट एंटरटेनमेंट how did you find Modi's speech? I want to let you guys in a secret. I don't watch Modi at all. I don't listen to his speeches at all. I am least interested in what he says. I just look at policies, don't look at speeches. You guys are in for a surprise. I don't follow a lot of daily politics. Just letting you know. Hmm. Do you think Saif Ali Khan is just trolling his naysayers by naming his sons? I think he's playing with people. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. So how do I know? I get into his head and say, "Haan, Saif, tum ye kar rahe ho." I don't know. I don't care, man. His child. Who cares? Why do I have to care about what he names his child? मेरे को क्या लेना देना है? He can name his child any sound effects he wants to. It's just words coming out of the mouth. I don't care what the child is named. I care about how the child is raised to be. And stop. Poor kid, man. Leave the children alone. Why do you want to screw with them? I don't know. I don't get your mindset. Are cinemas open? No. Are the ideas of founding fathers essential for guiding the country's future? Yes. Do we need lockdown 3.0? No, we don't need lockdown 2.0 either. When are you going to Canada? When this third rated thing stops? साला हर एक महीना तो एक्सटेंड कर देता है फ्लाइट की प्रॉब्लम. Am I moving to Canada soon? No. कुशल भी लाइक मेरे से साला कुछ भी पूछते हैं. हाँ, आज आप गोरे लग रहे हो. हाँ, मैंने फेयर एंड हैंडसम लगाई है. प्लीज अलाउ मी टू इन्वेस्ट एंड वी कैन डिवाइड 50-50 टू सेल बुरकाज इन अफगानिस्तान. घंटा मेरे को क्या जरूरत है तुम्हारे पैसे की? मैं उसमें वैसे ही खुद ही धंधा कर लूंगा. हाउ टू पास एग्जाम विदाउट स्टडिंग? भाई सिंपल है. कोविड फैलाओ, लॉकडाउन करो, पास हो जाओ. Has any development happened in J&K after 370 abrogation? Yes. Which countries am I advising friends and family for immigrating to? Is Canada still the best, or Australia and New Zealand? I think Canada and New Zealand, Australia, all three are a good choice. You can even look at opportunities in Dubai and Singapore if you want to. Do you think India will bring judicial reforms? If so, when? Arey yaar, how do we bring judicial reforms? We literally got the bill. That bloody bill got destroyed by the judiciary itself. So it's so hard. What are my views on libertarianism? A very interesting ideology, but too utopian. So beyond a point, I don't think so. Libertarian claims stand scrutiny at the level at which they think they are. But yes, I definitely am someone who leans very libertarianish. But I'm a pragmatic libertarian. Do you think voting rights should have certain constraints? Should anyone be able to vote? Anybody about the age of 25, in my opinion, should be allowed to vote as long as they are a citizen of that country. अरे जहांगीर हो यार, तैमूर हो, तुमको क्या करने का यार? उसका बच्चे का नाम है यार. तुम भी यार, तुम अपने बच्चे का नाम जो रखना उसको अपने बच्चे का नाम रखने दो. Am I a libertarian? I am someone who is very in Western parameters. I'm a centrist who leans libertarian. I don't know if I would qualify. Should there be a Kashmiri Pandits Genocide Remembrance Day? Yes, absolutely. I think there should be one. Modi 2029, Amit Shah till 2039, Yogi at 2049. कर लो यार. Should we send Rahul Gandhi to Afghanistan? Yes. He should be our Shanti Doot. How to sleep without sleeping? I don't know. Butler is standing firm at the end. उसको ड्रॉप कर दिया ना कोहली ने. सत्यानाश हो कोहली का. Australia has become way too authoritarian, still less authoritarian than India. इंडिया में रह रहे हो तो कौन सा बड़े तुमने छक्के काट लिए हैं उधर. कम से कम उधर लॉकडाउन होगा तो साला कम से कम $1000 तो मिलता है. Should we celebrate that finally these intervention wars are a thing of the past? यार मेरे को तो कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है, तो मैं celebrate क्या करूं? Ravi Chauhan, you didn't type a question. Am I well versed in Jyotisha palmistry? No, I don't believe in Buga Buga. When will temples be released from government control? That's a good question, Tanmay. I think in the next 5 to 7 years, you will see. Do you think the centrists will realize the danger of Islam? Yes, centrists are not stupid people. Who said just because you're a centrist you can't understand dangerous things? What kind of a weird question is this? Is US really more to blame than Taliban? I see USA getting more bashing from left wing plus right. I don't know, man. What was USA's job? Were they supposed to go there and do something over there? That was not USA's war to be fought. But now they're in there, they've ruined it, and now they're gone out. So, I mean, what? They've left a mess for everyone else. Do you think BJP eventually will turn into something like Congress? Very hard, because the RSS model framework always remains there. I don't think so. Really don't think so. Do you need money to do Hajj Yatra? Yes, you can send the money. I will think about the Hajj Yatra later on. Is all this talk of our civilizational link with Afghanistan just wishful thinking? Honestly, yes. I mean, what a civilizational link, Baba. It's a completely Islamized land. Yeah, they don't hate us as much as they hate Pakistan, but who cares? I mean, I don't understand this beyond the point. Let it happen at the government's end. And I'm also all for people who believe in secularism to find a place. But let us be very clear: the first option of getting into India, as far as Afghani citizens are concerned, should be given to non-Muslim Afghanis. Is there a chance of getting Shekhar Gupta on your podcast to discuss geo and Indian? I can try. Good suggestion. Hmm. Okay, I think I've answered all your questions, guys. All right. Okay, guys, I think I've answered all your questions. I don't see anything left. Let me check. Yep, I think I've checked all the questions. I don't see anything left. So yeah, I think pretty much everything is taken care of. So okay, guys, once again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, become a member. Okay, suddenly, I can you invite Winston Sturzill from Serpensa podcast? He's a South African who lived in China for 15 years and is very well versed with Chinese culture and politics. I strongly urge you to मेरे को email करोगे उनके podcast या कुछ link, please, Tanmay? I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, guys. So once again, thanks for your questions. Thanks for the support. The two T-shirts, I'll be putting them live on the merch store on Kadak Merch, and Kadak Merch will happen later on, but I'll put them up on the website. Definitely, you'll see them live tomorrow. Please gift them and wear them. Give it to your liberal friends who are so sympathetic to Taliban. Give them this T-shirt, the Talibani T-shirt, and the free speech one. And Asli Mehra, I don't know. So if you want the Asli Mehra one, maybe email me. I'll think about it. I'm not going to put it on the store, because who the hell would want to buy a Asli Mehra t-shirt? I don't think so anybody would, other than Anand Sridhar. I know. So as always, it's always fun to chat with you guys. This week, I don't think so I'm going to schedule any podcast. So I'll do another follow up. So this was part 1. Maybe on Wednesday we'll do part 2, and then maybe on Friday we'll do part 3, and we'll finish off the Pew poll this whole week, and then we'll wrap it up. As always, thanks for supporting the podcast. I'll see you next Wednesday. Until then, take care. Goodbye.